You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show of the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We don't have any new callers today, but Nate's on the line. What's going on?
Hi, Ryan, it's Nate. Just listened to your podcast this morning, and you were talking about the whole Bad Bunny thing. And I just do have a clarification on one thing. You were talking about how a lot of people don't want him to perform because he's not from the U.S. It's not, and I get some of the critiques about it not being in English and everything. But just so everybody is aware, Puerto Rico is part of the United States.
Again, that's, in my opinion, that's a technicality. It is a different country, and they would identify as being a part of that country, not as being an American. But again, that's not even my critique of the situation. I don't care about that. But I also think that that's, as though he's from Arkansas or something. You know what I mean? It is very much not the same thing.
United States territory, it's a commonwealth. It would be like, you're saying the whole ICE is going to show up. That would be like people saying, there's an artist coming from Washington D.C. and ICE is going to be there. Like that, it's the same thing. It's a commonwealth. It's a part of the United States. Good Lord. Okay. Go Pack, go.
Also, he's the one saying he's not going to perform in America because he's afraid of ICE showing up. That's his concern. But yeah, I don't know, that whole, it's a commonwealth or whatever. Okay. It's a country that has some ties to America. It's given some benefits because it's in other words, we'll say you're a part of the U.S. and you get a couple benefits or whatever, but you can't. I don't know. It's okay. That's a technicality. That's not even my concern. I never made that as part of the issue. Not even speaking in Spanish is not really the issue. I guess it kind of is, but again, if Rammstein was performing, wouldn't really be my concern. Oh, they don't speak English. It's just kind of like, okay, it wouldn't bother me as much. So again, the language thing is not really my concern. The ICE thing is his concern, and again, my whole, it's not that big of a deal, but my whole concern was basically just if this was more about, let's find a Latin artist that people in other countries, I don't even care about, we're trying to appeal to, the football fans in America that speak Spanish. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about their efforts to try to reach out to entire other countries to get them to start liking football more. You know what I mean? Mexico or frickin' Venezuela or something, which again is a good thing. I want that to happen, but there's, I think, maybe more subtle ways to do it, And again, I'm not saying I know that that's what they're doing. It's very simple. If that's what they're doing, I don't want them to do that. But I don't know how popular the guy is. I know people that say he's very popular in America. Whether he is or not, I don't know. But, in other words, the overlap between Bad Bunny listeners and people that watch NFL, I don't know what that is. But presumably the NFL, and I'm probably giving them too much credit, has all the data on this and knows all that stuff, and they found a guy that football fans love and also happens to appeal to a demographic we're trying to reach to, in which case, double points, good for you, great decision. Just for the sake of clarity, again, I don't care about the country, I don't care about the language, I don't care about the ICE situation, that's his concern, not mine. It's just a matter of, I have a suspicion that this artist was picked, not because it's what most NFL fans like, which I don't even know what that would be. Again, probably something I don't like anyways. That's not the point either. But just that I don't think that that's their motivation, and I don't think that they should do that. And the reason for my suspicion, as I said yesterday, is because this is what they do all the time with everything. It doesn't seem like they put us first for anything. It's, again, like with the physicality or the taunting or any of that stuff, they do things that all of us that are watching are like, I'm not asking for this. I didn't ask for that change. None of us want this change. Why are you doing this change? But they do it anyways because they're appealing to people that don't want to watch football. And they're like, well, what don't you like about football? Well, I don't like this. Okay, then let's change it. Oh, excuse me. All of us that watch it like it. All of us. So don't change that. Yeah, but the people that don't watch it don't like it. And so maybe if we change it, they'll like it. I don't give a crap what they think. Okay? Jeez. Whatever. Bill from South Carolina.
Hey, Ryan, it's Bill in South Carolina. Just calling in a few days after the game, give it time to marinate. It's like the same thing as last year, kind of, with the penalties we have, the stupid penalties we have. I mean, this NFL is very, very tough league. A lot of talent on every team, and we just give away these games. These turnovers in our own zone are killers, absolute killers. You can't do that, and that deflates the defense too.
Yep.
Which doesn't help them even for the rest of the game. The penalties, the offensive line penalties, over and over again. I mean, this is on the head coach, and also on the head coach who has the overall responsibility. The special teams, not even counting the crazy blocked field goals and extra points, is the kickoffs. We're starting always down in our own 20, if that. And the other teams are over there on the 35 and 40-yard line.
Well, and again, the frustration with that is, like that's sort of like a tweak that a team figured out. Like, what if we can get it to bounce just right, or all these kinds of things. But it's always other teams discovering it, and then us having to be like, oh, wow, what do we do about that? I wasn't prepared for that. I don't know. Like, I'm not mad at Savion Williams. He obviously was not told by Rich Bisaccia, this is what people are going to try to do, and here's how we're going to attack that. He's out there just reacting to it, and even as it happened a second time and a third time and a fourth time, we're still doing the same thing. Like, we don't have an answer for that. Also, we're not doing that to other teams. We're not the ones on the forefront of anything. Other teams are the innovators when it comes to special teams. They're the ones that are like figuring out how to attack these things and find the loopholes and do all these, and they're doing it to us, and we don't know how to respond to it. Right? It's like I said before about the block kicks, where there was an explosion of block kicks. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. But notice how other teams seem to have figured something out to get those block kicks, and we're the ones that not only didn't figure it out, but are having that done to us. So we're not only not discovering it and not doing it, but we're also not ready to stop it from happening. We need to stop being on the receiving end of everything and start being the innovators. We need to start being the ones that are doing things to people. We need to be the ones that people on TV are like, oh, look what Rich Bisaccia has figured this out, and he's been doing this, and it's really innovative, and everyone's, learning from it. That's not a thing. That's not what anybody says ever.
It seems like every time. I know it's not, but, I mean, all those little things add up to humongous things, and, I mean, we've got enough talent to overcome a lot of it, but when you're especially later on, we're playing in the playoffs. If everything goes right, now we're in big trouble. So the head coach got to clean this up. I mean, this is like last year, the whole year, the theme was we make it so hard on ourselves.
Yeah,
we always make it so hard on ourselves, and here we are again, doing the same things. I mean, seems like he's a great offensive coordinator, I guess. And the other thing is the defense. The cornerbacks have to play up on these guys and the safeties, because the pass rush they have to have confidence in the pass rush that they're not going to get beat. How many times when we used to play and we'd have to throw the ball short, and it seemed like there was 18 guys on defense right up, breaking the ball up, right up, 5 yards off.
Yep.
We got to have that mentality, and so that the quarterback doesn't feel comfortable just doing that. So anyway, I guess these days didn't really lessen my attitude on this. But anyway, love the Packers, go Pack go, and hopefully we can clean this stuff up. But I don't know how years and years, a trend is a trend. This is a freaking habit. I mean, this is expected now, and that's unsatisfactory.
Right.
So anyway, later. Have a good day.
Yeah, well said. I think the concern is that we did at times press them. The problem is our guys are not good at that. And so whenever they saw we were in press man coverage, they'd run these quick slants or things of that nature that are man beaters, and that would also get guys open pretty quickly. And Halfley just didn't have an answer for that. When we run in man coverage, they'd run these quick man beaters, and boom, somebody's open, throw the ball. When we're in zone, boom, get to the open spot and get the ball out. And so they just had this sort of like when you zig, we zag thing, and Halfley hasn't been able to figure that out. Now, I'm not a play concept guy, an X's and O's guy, so I couldn't sit here and theorize with you. Do we need to keep some linebackers in these areas? Do we need to kind of mix and match our zone and man and do all these different things to kind of figure that out? I don't really know. All I can say is it is on Halfley to say this is too simplistic. If all they have to do is identify whether it's man or zone, and then if it's man, run the man play, and zone, run the zone play, and boom, we can pick this defense apart, that's a problem, right? Because like you said, now the pass rush can't get home because there's always these quick throws all the time. So I don't know what the solution is. And I'm not going to pretend that it's an easy solution. But at the same time, we have more than enough talent on this team so that if Halfley can just come up with a plan and the guys can execute it, it should fix this. So that is to say, there isn't a situation where it's satisfactory to just throw our hands up and go, boy, I guess they figured us out. There's nothing we can do. Bull crap. You had your bye. You've had some time to identify what teams are doing to you. I don't want to see that. If we're in zone, it needs to be successful, even if they know we're in zone. If we're in man, it needs to be successful, even if they know we're in man. Find some creative solutions that at least scare them off of it. You know what I mean? If we're in man and they're going to run a quick slant, have a linebacker there ready to jump that route to at least get the quarterback to be like, oh, shoot, that was scary. Get him to just pause for a half a second, because that's all Micah Parsons need is an extra half a second, and he can't freaking get it. All right, let's take a break. We got a couple calls from TJ in Alabama.
Hey, Ryan, TJ from Alabama.
What's up?
Listening to your 4 rules of fandom. Can't say I disagree with any of them. I will say that the 25% knowledge seems a little aggressive to me.
Yeah.
I would think, if I put myself in that category as well, that I think maybe I'm pushing 1% knowledge,
Yeah.
and maybe not much better than that. But nonetheless, I agree with your 4. Not that you need me to agree with it, but I agree with your 4 things of fandom, and I will try to do my best to align with that. So looking at the Packers, 2025, 4 games into it, just short of the quarter mark. Overall, I'm still positive, partially because I think the Packers have proven capability.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're consistent enough. I'm not saying that we're going to win the Super Bowl or anything like that. But proof of concept, I do think we've proven something in the first 4 weeks, mostly the first 2. But even against Cleveland, the defense was very stout against Cleveland. The offense, played very well against Dallas. Yada yada yada. Proof of concept, I think we're there. Just got to get more consistent. The offensive line is clearly a real issue. That needs to get better. with the special teams, I kind of feel like with the special teams with Daniel Whalen and McManus that, we just can't have nice things because we got two good kickers, but, our 30-year efforts and kind of sucky special teams still exist. The offensive line, get our best player back, Aaron Banks, whatever, but get some consistency. I think we're going to be all right there. If the offensive line kind of settles in and Zach Tom's okay, we're going to be able to protect it. Historically, this year, last year, the year, we have solid offensive line. There's really no reason to believe that we won't. And if we have a solid offensive line, Jordan has proven to be a very capable quarterback. He's having a pretty damn good year. Couple bonehead things here and there, but overall very capable. The wide receiver group is strong. Going to get with Golden and Williams, and it's going to get better with Watson. The defense is good, and it's going to be good. Had a little bit of a brain fart against Dallas, but some of that was just Dak being Dak. And some of those plays, the lollipop throws and things like that, hey, all right, learn from it, move on. So I'm still pretty strong. Go, Pack, go.
Sometimes I'm amazed how childish my brain can be. When you remove brain from brain fart, boy, that kind of got me. Had a little bit of a fart there. No, I agree. I think everything's on the table, man. Everything we were excited about in the first 2 weeks is still there. Even if we don't want to go back to believing ever again. I'm never going to believe we're going to be that good again. That's fine. They don't need to be that good. But first of all, they can be. That's going to, I think, largely come down to the coaches and the health of the team. But everything's on the table. They have plenty of time. Remember, by the end of the season, there are two goals. You need to get in the playoffs, and by the time you get to the playoffs, you need to be in your best shape. That's really it. I know we want to be like elite for 17 games and all this stuff, but don't be bad enough for long enough that you miss the playoffs, and make sure that you are at your peak form come playoff time. And we are not out of, one of those things we can't do because we're not there yet. So that's just a matter of we have a lot of time to figure this out. So long as you don't take so long and are so bad that you miss the playoffs, right? Which I don't think too many people feel like that's where we're at. So I think it's important to kind of keep those things in perspective. Because again, what a lot of people who want to pretend they're being rational are doing is looking at weeks 3 and 4 and then projecting out, I know what week 17 is going to look like. No, you don't. No, you don't. It might be worse than this. It might be better than this. It might be roughly the same as this. Maybe the defense is elite and the offense is bad, or the offense is elite and the defense is bad. Maybe Jordan goes from being the bright spot of the team, carrying everybody, to being a liability, and we're all talking about we need a new quarterback. I don't know what week 17 is going to look like, but I know it's going to look different. So let's just one step at a time here. We need to get in the playoffs, and we need to be good come playoff time.
Oh, forgot one thing. So Matt LaFleur, I'm a kind of a bootlicker, so I'm not going to go there. But Matt LaFleur, he's been coaching for 6 years. We've had good records. It's kind of hard to call him a bad coach. And if you do, you're really not looking at wins and losses and yada, yada, yada. You're just making that crap up. But I will say, Matt, pick a lane. Either be aggressive like Dan Campbell or be conservative and stick to it. This wishy-washy, sometimes on this, sometimes on that, and the team doesn't know what the hell we're going to do any given. Pick a lane. Be one or the other. Let's stick to it. You can always change it in the future. Just don't change it 3 times a game. Stick to it. All right, that's it. That's it. Go back, go.
Yeah, and, to that point, having been a good coach doesn't mean you are a good coach. You're only as good as your, as what you are today. That doesn't mean you are exactly what happened in this last game. That's kind of how the saying goes, but that's not true. But kind kind of like with the Aaron Rodgers thing, where it's like, how could you get rid of an MVP, a back-to-back MVP, a multiple-time MVP? Because that's what he was in the past, and that's not what he is today. That's why. So similarly with Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur, I mean, you can defend them for 10 years straight if you know they were around that long, and still in year 11 say, I think we need a new coach. That doesn't make you a hypocrite. It just means things have changed. I thought he was a good coach, and he was, and now he's not. And I think maybe it'll be better in a different direction. I'm not saying that's my opinion right now. I'm just saying that's how that works, and we don't need to be afraid of getting stuck in one lane. That's what everybody does all the time. If you don't like somebody, you can never like them. Because then I was wrong, and I can't be wrong. God forbid I would be wrong. Bro, stuff changes. You know what I mean? If somebody tries to throw that in your face where it's like, I think we need a new GM, it's like, oh, I thought you were good. Look, I thought you were good. I was, back when he was good. And now he's not. So I think we should change. Things happen. Ted Thompson was an elite GM until he was a bad GM and needed to go. And then he left. And I thought it was a good decision because it was. It's the way it goes. It ain't that it ain't that deep, bro. It's pretty straightforward. So, yeah, I mean, it's always evaluation time for everybody. And things change. Even by the end of this year, we're going to have different thoughts. You know, sometimes it might be overreaction. It might not be. You know, we got to evaluate things as they come. Just try not to over-evaluate or overreact to 1 week. Let's just recognize that it's going to be kind of a sit back, look at the totality of what they've done in their career against the backdrop of what they did this year. Do we think it was just a down year? Are they kind of on the back end of their career and they're downsliding? You know, they're discussions. But we won't know until we have that time. And everybody kind of has this year to kind of paint us a picture, and we'll go from there. Not that it matters what we think. We're obviously not in charge, but we're fans. We'll sit around, talk about it, argue about it, and have some fun and see what the Packers do.
Hi, Ryan. It's Randy, Minnesota.
Hey.
Yeah, I haven't been on the call for a while. I've been dealing with family issues, but everything's cool now.
Glad to hear it.
The best way to describe this is I'm frustrated. I'm really frustrated. We have such a darn good team.
Yeah.
And what happened between Cleveland and Dallas, I'm just frustrated. I loved your rules on fandom. I think that's perfectly fine. Everything you said, I agree with. Understand that we should know that we don't know enough to know what the fix is. I see things. Maybe I just contradicted myself. I am agreeing right now. I think our special teams coach needs to go when you try to go a different route. But
sure.
That's just me. I still have a lot of faith in this team. After watching the game again and seeing basically Micah Parsons held on every darn play, I caught myself. Yeah. No, I really think we have a good team. Jordan Love played like Superman.
Yeah.
Let's not get too disgruntled. And for the negative fans, I'm sorry. I really don't think you're a fan. If you're negative on this team, I'm sorry. I don't think you're a Packer fan. You're more a fan of just always wanting to be right.
Yeah.
And that's not happening. I'm rambling. I'm sorry, but this is stupid. You're a Packer fan. You're a Packer fan through the good times, through the bad times. And I know people are going to say, "Shut up, Boomer." Guess what? I was there in the 70s and 80s and early 90s. I was still a Packer fan. You know what, guys? Y'all need to deal with this stuff. Anyway, that's my rant. And anyway, thanks for everything you do, Ryan. Go Pack, go. Bye.
Appreciate you, Randy. Yeah, and I think that is something as a fan to reflect on. I mean, we all take pride in the fact that, man, when even in the bad times, we sold out Lambeau Field, right? Even in the bad times, we sold out the stadium, wherever that location happened to be. So we acknowledge that that's a positive in a fan base. We admire like Browns fans for showing up and being loyal even through all these bad times. So we got to, think about how can I be that fan? And again, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging and pointing out things that are negative and looking to the team and saying, here's how I think we should improve. But we also have to try to figure out how can I be that fan, but also be the fan that's going to be there in the bad times. Because, boys and girls, these are not the bad times. We're not in them. I'm guessing, God willing, in my lifetime, I'll see the bad times. Because if not, I probably don't have much longer on this earth. Because they have to come sometime. And we have to ask ourselves, like, how can I be a fan that is a realist and, is willing to acknowledge what is and be unsatisfied with things that are not good enough, but also be a fan that is going to show up and is going to support the team and is going to watch on Sundays and is going to cheer, even for a team that I know is bad. Because, again, we acknowledge that is what a good fan does, right? We admire that in a fan base and in a fan. So we should want to be that kind of a fan. And, I don't think that that's an easy thing to do, but it's something we should aspire to. And this is good practice with what we're going through right now. And that's all this is practice, because these are champagne problems that we have right now. As Packer fans, we're still a fan base that's like, yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure we're going to the playoffs, but still, I've had enough of this. Like, champagne problems, brother. All right? Just saying.
Hi, Ryan. It's Randy from Minnesota. Well, seems like the Bears are back at it again. You'd think they would learn their lesson, but now I guess you win one game and you barely somehow win another game versus the Raiders. And all of a sudden I'm reading on something called Bear Goggles. The Bears are closer to overtaking the Packers than many might expect.
Mm.
And they go through a lot of, BS, as they are wont to do. It starts out with, Chicago finally has a better coach. Well, do they? He's coached, 3-4 games? And LaFleur's winning percentage is what? Yeah, okay. Why don't we give this one a little time to marinate?
Right.
And then they went on to say that Chicago has more leaders, or has the leaders.
Let me just pause there, because it's probably true of most of the things you're going to say. Bears fans have a really hard time separating hype from reality. In other words, when they get told something, they don't feel like it needs to prove itself. When they get told that Justin Fields is a generational quarterback, they believe that he's a generational quarterback, and he's going to be, as some Bears fans had the gall to say when we still had Aaron Rodgers, that he was the Trubisky at the time, actually, would have been the best quarterback in the NFC North, that the Bears were the kings of the North. They just immediately believe all of the hype without believing that anything needs to be proven. And it's the same with this coach. Well, everybody told me that he's a generational coach, so therefore he is. And so he doesn't need to prove anything. The Bears don't need to prove anything. That's just what the TV told me. So it just must be true.
Well, between the head coach and the strong players that they have on their team that are no nonsense players, like the quarterback that paints his nails.
real gritty men's men, you know what I mean? Like, they're just no nonsense head busters.
Anyway, basically they're saying that LaFleur is not a leader of men, and that he's too soft-spoken, and Ben Johnson, who looks like Opie, is a much harder, stronger coach than Coach LaFleur. And then it went on to say, if I can find it, here it is. The Chicago Bears now own the rivalry. and they should feel pretty confident that this is the year they finally overtake the Packers. And they're just as good a team on paper as Green Bay. Their coordinators are more competent and no longer shooting themselves in the foot. Well, that has yet to be seen. And basically that this year we will be crowning the Bears as, at least the head of our rivalry, or not, the Kings of the North. Okay, well, I'm just amazed. You would think it's July, not October, because this is the kind of dribble you usually see in July. However, I just wanted to share this. This was good humor for me this morning, and keep doing what you're doing. Go Pack, go. Bye.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. And it's not as small of a percentage as some of the more rational Bears fans would want you to believe. It's why they get picked on so much. Bears fans, oh yeah, you cherry picking it. No, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. Your fan base is insane. They believe all this nonsense. They take all of this stuff that none of it's been proven. Your quarterback is unproven, your coach is unproven, your team certainly is unproven. And but yeah, we this team that has done almost nothing. I mean, what have they done so far this year? I just want to recap the Bears real quick. Oh, I bet it was the Dallas game. That's what got them all emboldened. So they lost to the Vikings, who are complete dog crap. They got pummeled by Detroit 52-21. They had the one Dallas game where everything looked great. And then they played the Raiders, who are dog crap, should have lost the game. They won it by a point. All right, look. You beat Washington in Washington, we can have a conversation. Okay? If you beat Washington in Washington, we can talk. By the way, the Bears fans love talking about, oh, we beat Dallas and you lost you tied Dallas, so I guess that makes us better. Oh, okay. We beat Detroit, who beat you 52-21. Again, go beat Washington. Okay? Travel to Washington, who just got their quarterback back. I mean, Washington is not I don't think anyone thinks of them as like massive Super Bowl contenders, but they're probably a playoff team. Go beat them. Because honestly, after that, it looks like a pretty cake schedule. You got the Saints, you got the Ravens, who suddenly apparently suck. You got the Bengals, who suck. You got the Giants, who suck. You got the Vikings, who suck. You got the Steelers, who probably are not great. I mean, the record is better than whatever. But when you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games that should be extremely winnable, I want to see you beat Washington. All right? But at the end of the day, none of that matters. What matters is we'll see you December 7th. We'll see you December 20th. See you then. All right, let's take our final break. We'll be right back.
Hey, Ryan, it's Green Bay 10. You're right. I had called once before years ago, so sorry. I'm going to have to get on the Patreon and start contributing, I know.
You're good,
but I just listened to your podcast on Jordan Love, how good the whole team is. And it's down to our offensive line. It's what I'm thinking. Coaching on the defensive side, I get it. Let's get aggressive with our coverages again like we were at the first 2 games. We shouldn't be laying off. We shouldn't be playing zone. Play man-to-man and then let Micah cause problems. But the offensive line, if Love is as good as you say he is, and I believe that, and I see it, the offensive line is the only thing that's going to keep us from getting where we can get. We got to do something with that offensive line. Anyways, Green Bay 10 out. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to oversimplify things, but man, I think that is a massive percentage of the problem with this team. Especially if we assume the defense is not going to be giving up 40 every week. Man, you get that offensive line going, that fixes so many problems. So many problems.
Hey, Ryan, it's Nate. I don't know if this call is even going to get played because I'm calling in, right the day before the game. And last Packernet After Dark, we hadn't even finished the calls during the game. But I just wanted to call in because It's the day after Taylor Swift's album released. I think I've mentioned I'm married to a Swiftie, so I just had to vent out a little bit that I don't really enjoy knowing as much about Travis Kelce's penis as I presently do. I've heard the entire album like, I don't know, 500 times in the last 24 hours. And it's a lot. It's a lot. And there's things that I don't want to know, there's things I didn't want to know, and now I do. And it's upsetting. It's deeply, deeply upsetting to me. So just had to get that out. I don't know if there's other people who are married to Swifties out there, if you're in the same pain that I am. But anyway, go Packers.
So I actually just realized that I was married to, I guess, a Swiftie. I had no idea. I don't know if this is a new thing that my wife's just like jumped on board with or what. But yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere. I first noticed it when I was making some unflattering comments about Taylor Swift, which I feel like is just something you do as a married guy. You take a young, I guess, semi-attractive female. I genuinely don't find her very attractive, but you just kind of downplay, like, she's not that good looking. It's just a thing you do. You tell your wife, like, she's gross, she's stupid. She didn't seem to react to that super well, which I thought was a little weird. I just figured she was like, that just wasn't nice, so you shouldn't say that. That's fair enough. All right, I was trying to be nice, but I guess that's not nice. But she, obviously she kept talking about like Swift and Travis Kelce, but I figure that's just sort of general, information, dating information. Like she liked the Rogers stuff too, so I didn't really think too much of that. And then she had mentioned that she likes Taylor Swift songs, which again, didn't think too much of it, right? Just music is, whatever. Well, the album comes out, and I don't know, I was talking to her about something, and she's like, yeah, I'm not going to be here. I'm like, okay, what do you got going on? She doesn't ever really do stuff. Not involving the kids, so it's weird for her to just be like, I'll be gone. Like, what are you talking about? Where are you going? Well, she buys this, like, Taylor Swift t-shirt, and has like the colors of the albums. She buys the nail polish and like paints her nails in those colors. It's like Miami Dolphins colors is what it looks like. And apparently this album release was released like in theaters. And so the theater by our house was having like the album release and she was going to go to that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what is happening right now? So I guess, but I don't know. I haven't heard any of the songs. I don't want to. She doesn't really tell me all that much about stuff, fortunately, I don't subject her to Packers talk. She doesn't tell me about Taylor Swift, I guess is the arrangement, the unspoken arrangement we have. So I guess I'm in a similar but also not at all similar situation to you. We'll see how this goes. I don't know. I'm a little still in a state of shock to find this out. I also had heard, and I don't know if this is just some stupid overblown thing, it's the internet, everybody says stupid things that are fake, but apparently, because supposedly, I don't know, Taylor Swift's whole shtick is like being this single lady and everything is men's fault, and this guy is a jerk, and I broke up with him, and then I dated this guy, and then I broke up with him, and I dated this guy, and I broke up with him, and she kind of just, I don't know, I guess that's something you brag about nowadays, I don't know. Well, now her new album is like, I'm married and I'm so happy to be a married woman and all these things. And all the single cat ladies who are inspired to be single angry cat ladies are mad because their entire motivation to be a proud single cat lady has now gotten married and has abandoned them. Sorry, I lied to you. It's not great to be single. I actually love being married. Again, I don't know if that's true. I guess if I wanted to be nice, I'd say I hope it's not true that people made terrible decisions to be lonely and miserable because of a stupid celebrity that doesn't know your name. I don't know, man. This is the NFL now. We have to have opinions on Taylor Swift as an NFL fan. This is what I love about the new modern NFL.
Hey, Ryan. It's Garrett. Southern Illinois.
What's up?
I made a decision. And you need to quit your job, Ryan.
Okay.
You need to quit your job right now. I think you need to start a company similar to PFF
Okay.
that only grades referees every week, all the games. Because when you go back and look at the game against Dallas, Goose is right. I mean, there was just atrocious no calls up and down the field on both offense and defense. And I think the NFL just needs to get exposed for just how bad of a product they're putting out there when they've got groups like Tolbert's that is reffing a game that is not held accountable like they should. I'm honestly just totally serious. These guys need to be exposed for just how bad they are doing this game. And I know, like you said, they're humans, but they need to be held accountable. I mean, it is just ridiculous, the amount of no calls or bad calls, their interpretation of the rules. It's just unbelievably bad. They really do need to have somebody in the booth that is in the ear of the head ref telling them whether or not pick up the flag or throw the flag, because they can't see everything, but maybe the guy that's watching videos and what everybody else in the nation watching the game is seeing, he just needs to be telling us, like, hey, you have to throw a flag. This is just not acceptable. Speed up the game in other ways, but I mean, this is it's just totally unacceptable for a team to potentially lose a game because of the refs. And how many years have we seen blown calls go against us or go for us? I'm not saying that we haven't had some go for us, but there have been definitely some that have just linger in our minds that have been blown calls that could have been overturned. But because the NFL is being, what they are, and just being arrogant, good for nothings, refuse to address it. So you need to quit your job. And I just, if you need to finish an argument with your wife about it, I got one thing to explain. Just get naked. She can't argue with a naked man. So just get naked before you have the argument. I'm out.
What is happening today? I don't like the marital advice I'm getting in this podcast. You might be right, but I don't want you to be right. That's for sure. Well, I can promise you this. If I knew I could support my family doing that, I would be doing it starting today. But I have a feeling it would be an endeavor that would cost all of my time, and it would be of general interest, and nobody would be interested in funding something like that. But believe me, I'm down for whatever. I'm absolutely down for whatever. You find me the financial backing, and I promise you I will pursue it. But yeah, it's disgusting how bad it is. It really is. I don't know. I don't really see it getting better. I've made that case many times. I think we all, again, it's one of the things that all the fans are in unison saying a thing. The NFL couldn't give less of a crap. They're busy trying to expand the NFL into new markets. We're going to be playing in Kazakhstan next year, so can't be bothered with, fixing the officiating. Anywho, I'm going to get out of here.